This may be the most important video I ever record, for reasons you'll soon find out. I've been meaning to do a video along these lines for quite some time now, didn't get around to it, but with everything going on in our crazy world, from censorship to Tommy Robinson and extending of hate speech laws around the world, it couldn't wait any longer. As most of you, I hope, can already feel, the weight of the anvil of political correctness, censorship, and the other things I just mentioned are pressing down on us as we speak. Hate speech laws are being weaponized essentially around the world to restrict free speech, to put it simply. Since hate speech and censorship is the meat of this video, a little history on hate speech and hate speech laws. They were originally introduced by the Soviet Union and their allies. Surprised? You shouldn't be. Because their motive, as communists tend to do, was to limit free speech, obviously, and crush dissent or uprisings in their infancy before they can spread to the general population. We now see countries, especially Europe, have hate speech laws that restrict free speech. And it all stems from the EU adopting law in 2008 on combating racism and xenophobia. It may sound innocent on its surface and like it may do a general good for the general public, but it's very sneaky. Keep in mind, this is around the same time, 2008, that European countries, especially the UK, open their borders to Islam and arguably radical Muslims. Hashtag not all Muslims. This was all done intentionally and by design. Make no mistake. The reason this info is so important is that it should be looming in the back of our minds so we can learn from what has happened to Europe, the EU in general, and most importantly the UK and their crime rate. Have you looked lately? They are seeing large skyrockets in overall crime and, you guessed it, knife violence. That's right. They need knife control. Well, if you ask Sadiq Khan, the local con job mayor of the city, they've even gone so far as to say that the reason they're seeing a jump in crime, knife crime, namely, is due to the knives themselves, and the knives should be blunted, having their sharpened edges reduced, or even maybe licenses or the such be required to carry sharp knives. That's right. Pretty soon you won't even be able to eat a steak in the UK without a license. I'm guessing, there may be a concealed carry permit for chefs on their way to work. I mean, how out of control has this gotten? But I digress. It may seem like I'm jumping off point, but the thing is I'm not. It all ties in. You see, these hate speech laws were directly weaponized and used to squash dissent as much as they could as they opened the borders wide up, as I mentioned, and flood the country with Islam, refugees, and clearly some people of a violent nature, considering their large spike in crime. This isn't to say all Muslims are bad, obviously, but there must be a direct correlation between the large just skyrocket in crime and with the fact that they've opened their borders wide open. And they're seeing the effects of it, unfortunately, for their citizens that have lived there for decades and decades. I don't want to drag this video out. I could go on and on about little things here and there, about how it got worse over time, and the mayor's done nothing to fix it, except suggest ridiculous proposals like I mentioned with the knife control is essentially what it is. But for the sake of time, I won't, and to keep the importance of the main message about hate speech being used as a weapon to censor free speech on the main horizon. I hope you guys took something from this video, and stay vigilant, and remember that things that may appear innocent on the surface very frequently have a larger goal in mind that many of us probably don't realize at first. Stay frosty. Well, that's the end of this video. That's all he, she, or Z wrote. Go ahead and click on these floating boxes and circles and whatever other crazy shapes are on the screen to see our other videos, subscribe to the channel, or check out the website. Oh, and while you're at it, go ahead and share this video with all of your friends. I'm sure it's something that he, she, or Z will truly enjoy.